Hi everyone. I feel like I need a disclaimer for my diary series, so that's what this is. So quick disclaimer, these are my thoughts, my feelings, my words on certain matters. This does not mean that I speak for anyone else. These are purely just my opinions, my thoughts, my feelings, my actions. That being said, I am talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly in these videos. Because culture shock exists. Imposter syndrome exists. And I wanted to use these as a way to document not only the romanticized things about traveling abroad and studying abroad, but also the not so romanticized imposter syndrome that you get from being in a different country. So yeah, I mean, it's the good, the bad, and the ugly out here. I try not to talk about too controversial of things. It's solely just my opinion. And if it's wrong, most of it's not fact, but if it is fact and I get it wrong, please tell me. Part of the reason that I started doing this is to learn more. Hopefully nothing of what I talk about or do here gets me canceled online. And yeah, these videos are not highly edited. They're done in one take, hence the ums, the uhs, the fillers, my ramblings. Most of these are done one take. I slapped on my video and channel logo with my music and posted. So yeah. I guess trigger warning for some of these videos as well. I talk about mental health. I talk about my experience. I talk about my own personal mental health, that I have diagnoses for. So, talking about the way that affects me, and how it affects me being in a different country. So, trigger warning for some of those. Like I said, I'm not really editing them. I'll try to put something that says trigger warning, I'm talking about mental health, or I'm talking about something relatively controversial, like when I went to the DMZ. But other than that, I think we should be good. Disclaimer over. Enjoy the diary. This is gonna be great. Hi everyone. It is really dark outside because it is nighttime again. And my roommate has already gone to bed. It was day 6 and 7 here. So Saturday, yesterday we had a free day. I went and I got my tattoo, and that was pretty interesting. I was able to navigate Seoul by myself. So I'll insert a picture here. But yeah, yesterday was a free day. I slept in. We went to Seoul to try and go shopping. But then by the time we hit lunch, we only had an hour before I had to leave for my tattoo appointment. So, and then I just came back to the hotel and ate some dinner and just hung out last night. So it was a pretty chill day. Today we went to the DMZ. And it was really interesting. It was a really interesting experience. So if you don't know, the DMZ is the demilitarized zone. It is the only... Ooh, my foot touched something. It is the only demilitarized zone in the world. There is no other demilitarized zone in the world. And it is on the 38th parallel, which is kind of near the border, it is the border between North and South Korea. The demilitarized zone used to be an active war zone during the Korean War, when North Korea and South Korea were kind of fighting over like territories. And so like you have the border, and then 2 kilometers on either side of the border is the DMZ, right? And so on the north side of the border, it's the North Korean demilitarized zone, and on the south of the border, it's the South Korean demilitarized zone. So there is no active fighting happening right now, because one of the rules of fighting war in the DMZ is you cannot use artillery of any kind if there are civilians present in the DMZ, and there are 2 villages on the South Korean side. So there are actively civilians living in the DMZ, so they don't fight. Right, and so it was really cool learning the history of like the North Korean versus South Korean conflict and like all of that. And what was really cool was they took us into the tunnels, right? So there's been this conflict. North Korea keeps trying to invade South Korea. And so they like dug these tunnels, and these tunnels burrow from a tower in North Korea that I actually was able to like see. And they burrow underground into this tunnel. And then South Korea went in and dug and found the tunnel, and they were like, hey, like, why are you digging tunnels into our country? And North Korea just kind of never responded about the tunnels. But we were actually able to go into one of the tunnels, and that was really cool. It was really steep going down, and it was a really steep hike coming back up, and then the tunnel was really small. So I like genuinely tried not to get tried not to freak out, because it's a really tight space and there were a lot of people down there. They make us wear hard hats because it is tight, impact, and rock. And it was actually really kind of funny. I kept laughing because like every now and again you can hear this nice clean little dink happen, because people kept hitting their heads on the rocks or on the scaffolding. So there was that. Anyway, it was really cool to see. But like, I was actually rather intrigued by the DMZ. I like history and like military history and the history of wars because like it's just always been fascinating to me. But something that I really found interesting is like, even though it's a demilitarized zone, it is still an active military zone. Like there is still active military presence there. So like, yes, it's called the DMZ, but is it actually like, does it actually not have military? No. And so like on the South Korean side, it's very touristy. It's like a tourist attraction. Right? Like there were a ton of people who like went into the tunnels and into the DMZ and into like these places. Like we were on a 55 passenger bus and I thought it was strange. Right? Like just like this is a territory that has been constantly fought over. And like they are pushing for a unification in Korea, which I also don't understand. 'Cause like South Koreans and North Koreans are so different in the way that they're like their states are run, their countries are run. They're so different in like who they let in their country. Their currency is different. Their time zones even different. North Korea was about, I think, 30 minutes to an hour ahead of Seoul, even though like we're in the same time zone. They were on a different time than we were. So I don't know. It's really strange. And I guess I need to do more research into like the history of why they want to, like, it makes sense that they want to unify Korea into one big piece again. But also for two countries who are so vastly different in the way that they do everything. It just doesn't make sense to me. So I'm going to do more research into it and hopefully learn a little bit more by talking to people. Because like, even when we were there, like the tour guides were like, yeah, we're working on unifying Korea again. And I'm like our tour guide even said, like, we all know that North Koreans are kind of like brainwashed a little bit. Not a little bit, a lot of it. But like, there's all of this propaganda and all of this message that's being fed to both sides. And it's like they're vastly different. So like, why would you want that in your country on both sides, right? Like, North Koreans are very controlled in what they consume and what they are fed and what their leader says. Why would I want anything to taint that? And vice versa. Like, everything is so controlled. Why would I want everything that's so controlled when I have so much freedom where I am? I don't know. It's weird. It, like, sociologically, it's weird. And psychologically, it's weird. And I can't necessarily wrap my head around it. And I kind of want to. So that's definitely going to be my little research side project for when I'm here. But yeah, like, being in the DMZ and being in the village, like, they tried to make it so happy and so like hopeful, right? Like, there's the message of, we're trying to unify Korea again. We went to the Unity Village. There's this Bridge of Peace and the Peace Bell and the Unity Bridge, right? And they're like, unify Korea. And like, I kind of understand to an extent, but like, with how hopeful everyone was during this whole tour, like, the feeling that you had, it was really heavy. Like, from the time we crossed into the DMZ, like, you could just feel this feeling of dread and of heaviness, and it felt like part of the air had been sucked out of my lungs. And I don't know if that's because I'm like an empath and I can just like, I feel things, or because I'm super in tune with like nature and the way things feel. Like, I felt it at certain other places, like the palace. And like, I can feel it's almost like it's the spirit of the earth, right? Like, I can feel the way the world around me feels, and it hurt almost. It was really heavy and it was really intense being there. And like, of course, the threat too of like, all it takes is one decision for North Korea to just not abide by the peace treaty anymore. Which I don't think they will. Like, I don't think they're going to go against the peace treaty anytime soon, because like, we have treaties and we abide by treaties for a reason. But yeah, it was really interesting being there today. So yeah, and then afterwards we went shopping. Check out the vlog that I did for this week for my little haul. We went shopping in Seoul. And freaking Jonghan of 17 was there literally at the Vanilla & Co. store that his face is all over, like maybe 2 hours, an hour and a half after I was there. And like I was still in Seongsu, but he was there, and I was like, oh my god, I wanted to combust, because what do you mean I am existing in the same space as that man? So that was a great way to end the night. And then we got food. We had fried chicken downstairs, and we ordered way too much. Like way too much. We have so much leftovers that I'm gonna eat later. But yeah, that was this weekend, and hopefully these videos start coming out soon. My little diary entries. I know you guys can't like really see me right now. You're just staring kind of like at a black screen, but like I said, it is dark. My roommate's already gone to bed, so I might put up some pictures of me in Seoul. But yeah, that was week 1, and I will see you tomorrow for Monday of week 2. I don't start work tomorrow. Tomorrow's a national holiday, so I have no idea what I'm gonna do. I might just end up hanging out. But yeah, I start work on Tuesday. I also, like, I know where I work, but I don't know my hours. I don't know what time I'm supposed to be there. I don't know what time I go home. I don't know how many days I gotta go in. And I don't even necessarily really know what I'm doing. All I know is that I'm teaching English. So, yeah, it's gonna be a fun day tomorrow. And I'll keep you posted. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.